up, dudes? HW here. How you doing? How you doing? It's a beautiful morning up in Nashville. Trying to get back into the regular swing of things, you know what I mean? Had some family in town, working on some big packs, working on some stuff. All right, so today I want to talk about sounds that are like dirty clean, you know? The clean dirt, the dirty cleans. And it's a sound that it's probably my favorite kind of thing to try to get on the guitar, because I think it really can make the guitar sound very vocal. And I don't mean like edge of breakup. I mean that I find to my ear that there are these certain combinations, and I tried to use some at the intro there, where the sound is clearly, it has some gain, but it still sounds clean. One of the ways I think you can achieve that is I'm using this Jam Continuum B2. It's on Tone X and Quad Cortex, and it's on Kemper and everything. And by itself, it sounds like this. Sounds beautiful. I got some chorus on there too. But I find that when you put on something a little bit like a clon, you get a little bit of clon sound and you get a little bit of mid-range, but with that, you don't get that pure clean sound. You get something that's just vocal, but it doesn't hit you as dirt. HW, that sounds dirty. Listen when something else is playing. When other things are in the mix, you lose some of the nuance of a tone, and you kind of get just you get the part that sits over everything else. You know what I mean? So check this out. So I think, fair to say, one of the ways you can achieve that kind of thing, that I like to think about it as, is like out of phase in between, and then adding mid-range. And it kind of cleans it up enough. Because if I take that same sound and I put it on the neck, that's a little bit there, but that still hits me as dirty. This still hits me as clean. It's dirty clean, but when I play, I feel like I lose a lot of the nuance, that little grit, you know, that overdrivey gain isolation kind of thing. Another way I like to do it is just use just the humbucker without anything else on a sound like this. And it becomes like a lead sound, but a clean lead sound. And in my opinion, the clean humbucker in the bridge, cleanish humbucker in the bridge, except for in like modern country, it's like a completely forgotten guitar tone. You know? It's like there's a little bit there. But when, right, you can hear that grit. You hear a little bit of that grit. But when I play it in this context, You might almost think I'm playing a telly there. When something else is in the context, it loses a bit of that grit and just that chirpy quality comes out. It's two different ways to achieve the same thing. If I put the overdrive on this, way too fuzzy, way too overdriven to get away with calling it a clean dirty. But you go to the in-between, that's like the single coil version. Here's the humbucker version. And I think for me, the litmus test is if you had two guitars, one dirtier than that, and this one, you'd go, you know, the clean guitar. You know what I mean? Like if you put it in the context of a real dirty guitar, like this sort of thing. You'd be like, yeah, that's the dirty guitar, and this is the clean one. You know what I mean? And then same thing here, if you have this, you'd be like the clean one. And a little bit that one relies on not sending too much into the input. You know, you can kind of, if you're... You know what I mean? You can kind of get away with that, but when you do too many of the double stop things with the pick, full attack, you get that round sound again, that rounder, overdriven sound. I don't know, that's how it sounds to me. It sounds round to me. But you know what, man? There are no rules. Everything sounds good. You know what I'm saying? Everything sounds good. Now, one of the things I also like to do, you can't do this on every guitar. So this guitar has a humbucker and a single coil that with the number 2 position in the Strat, the humbucker does not get split. The normal Surs, this looks like the normal Surs they sell today, but it's not. It's an older one, and it's from before they had like the standard models. Like now they call this guitar Classic S, looks like a Classic S. I bought this when Pete Thorne started playing a guitar that looked like this, and I found it on like Marketplace. Mine has the Spurzl tuners, and this is from the Pro series. So this is like before they started doing that, when Sir was kind of a smaller company. This was the first Sir I got, and it kind of turned me on to them. By the way, I still think they're making the best. I don't think the old Sirs are like better than the new ones. I think they're still making just the most incredible guitars. I did see at NAMM, they started making their own bridge, and all mine have the Godot 510. Theirs looks to be just a clone of the Godot. They might even have Godot making it, and they just put Sir on it. I really don't know, but it has the logo right there on it. And I think that's Sir probably trying to go all proprietary. They don't want to be compared to probably a parts caster company like a Warmoth Build, or even like a what's that company that makes it's all like parts guitars, the Fenders with all the parts guitars. People really like them. They're all Nash, you know. You know, it's none of it's Nash parts, you know what I mean? It's body and wood and everything, you know, anyway. You can kind of get away with it there too, but here's like that sound, you know, here's first the humbucker. It's not enough, so you kind of need that overdrive. But then that's a little too fuzzy. So it's like it doesn't work on every position, you know what I mean? The middle still. It really doesn't work in the middle to me, whether you use the overdrive or not. But the bridge clean. It's like a clean dirty, you know? The in between positions when it's two single coils, not really single coil and humbucker, I find, but you might have a different guitar that's kind of different. A lot of times this will get split for you when you go to that position, when you go to that number 2 position, or you'll have a push pull. I do not on this guitar. So single coils, I add a little clon type thing.